In their next game. We will also break down South Korea's impressive victory over Czech Republic, examine the key moments that decided the match, and discuss what the result means for both teams going forward in the tournament. I am Abel Sunday. Joining me in the studio is media and sports professional Josiah Amidu Delight. Also joining us virtually from Lagos is Wisdom Chiwoba, popularly known as the Principal Team. This is P&B World Cup Show. It's P&B World Cup Show, and I'm being joined by Josiah Amidu, media professional, and also this Principal Team will join us later in the show. Amidu, good afternoon, or rather evening.
Well done. Thanks for today again. This is day 2 of the World Cup, and it's good to be back here in your studios to talk about the World Cup, and also what actually started yesterday after the first match between Mexico and South Africa. And I hope that we'll do more permutations and also analyze things that actually happened yesterday. It's good to be with you, Sunday.
Okay, welcome, Josiah, and let's just dive into what happened yesterday. We saw the South Africans, a lot of. Okay, I think let's just start with our correspondent Kenneth that fired in. I think from the view center, what the predictions of so many fans, even in Nigeria, what will happen. If our producer can put that on the screen, but if it's not ready, we'll just start talking about it. But look at what happened. South Africa become the first nation to get red card in their first 2 red cards in their first game. That shows that they are not even prepared for this World Cup.
According to analysts and according to pundits, this is one of the highest red cards game ever in the history of FIFA World Cup from the start of the preliminary rounds, and it has to do with a lot of analysis and insight into the fact that South Africa is being caught by the nemesis of people, and those that have killed during the xenophobia, and the blood of those people are crying, and so they are actually not really doing what they are supposed to do right, and things are really getting bad for them. South Africa actually ended up in this game against Mexico, were told by 9 men down, whilst also Mexico had himself 1 person red carded. It was one of the most roughest game that anybody has watched in an opening encounter in the football history. Very rough, and the Brazilian referee was very, very careful to have managed that event, because it was tempers were really rising up, and particularly with the South African side, and a lot of people congratulating Mexico. It's like even the United Africa that they're looking for.
They don't even want to. Some people they say that Estano something. But if the video is ready, let our poster put it up. Let's see what Kenneth got for us out there.
Mexico, South Africa, today's opening match.
Hello, my name is Victor, and I'm rooting for Mexico. You know, South Africa, they are shit house motherfuckers. We want them to come on so that they can secure their job. So we are looking at 3-1 Mexico to win.
3-1 Mexico to win.
Yeah, 3-1.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your prediction so far? 1-0 first half. Do you see South Africa coming back?
It's 2-0. 2-0. Final prediction. Final score.
So you are in support of Mexico?
Every Africa is in support of Mexico.
Every Africa is. What's happen now?
South Africa, no one gets them. We don't support them.
All right, I am live at the Party People Viewing Center at Durumi 2. And let me meet the MD CEO of the Party Viewing Center in Durumi. Good evening. So today is South Africa, Mexico. So who are you supporting?
Oh, I'm an African, you know, I always support South Africa.
You support South Africa?
Yeah.
What's your prediction? 2-0, 1-0?
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
All right, 2-1 South Africa. Thank you.
Okay, you saw what is going on. I think got a xenophobia attack, and a lot of people don't even want to identify with South Africa anymore because of this incident.
That issue is a very serious world issue. It's not just an ordinary thing you just push aside. And it's not even the issue, it's the killing. You will see some pictures that emanated from the public, the social media, about how they maim people, they rape women. There was a picture I saw of one woman, some women from, I think, Zambia, or Zimbabwe. They stripped them naked on the street. They beat them. They mercilessly, rabble-roused them. Even the Nigerians also were victims. But unfortunately, the Nigerian issues is that Nigerians are bold and they gather themselves together to resist their onslaught. That's why Nigerians have been able, but some Nigerians have been unlucky. But be that as it may, if you want to look at the football that they played yesterday, it was completely a roundabout, a roller coaster for Mexico. Mexico had a very good day.
Exactly.
With the advantage of their crowd.
Yeah, and that's why I want to come with this question. Mexico got the result they wanted, but their performance show the quality of a genuine World Cup contender or simply a team benefiting from home support. Do you think probably it's because of the home support they benefit, or do you see this team?
It is not a home support. These Mexicans are a team to reckon with at the World Cup level. They've been able to go to about, this is the third World Cup, and they are hosting one of the World Cups, and they are in a group that seems a bit like we said, a bit weak, but we cannot tell that yet. But our predictions yesterday has confirmed that indeed Mexico was really ready for what actually happened yesterday. Well, with an exciting opening match, what do you expect? Well, exciting entertainment, an exciting opening match, an exciting ambience of people that came from all walks of life, and an exciting Shakira and a blend of African, South American, a blend of music. What do you expect? That the people were well entertained, and they were really mobilized to win. An early 8-minute goal is not a joke.
Yeah, it's not.
And you can see that it was even an African that didn't score that first early goal for the Mexicans. So they were really ready. They are prepared. I think they are prepared. They are hosting to see if they can win. And I believe that as the event progresses,
we'll see when the men will be separated from the boys. But we'll be joined by the principal to Wisdom Chimoba, all the way from Lagos. Wisdom, good evening, and how are you this evening in Lagos?
Oh, good evening. I'm doing very well. I'm excited to be here again this afternoon.
Wisdom, your prediction actually come to pass. You and Ahmed, you said Mexico is going to take the day yesterday, and fortunately for you guys, Mexico actually did. But what is this thing between you guys and South Africa? Is it that you people don't want them to succeed anymore?
Well, I mean, for me personally, to be honest, I'm indifferent when it comes to South Africa. To be honest, I don't have anything against them, but I think that I also don't have anything on them. I mean, I have no business with them basically. So away from the whole xenophobic situation and everything, heading into the World Cup, of course, I never really expected them to do anything. If you look at the squad they have, yesterday I was trying to make a case for South Africa, saying that it would be a bad move to write them off, but at the same time, the truth is, they don't really have that much quality that you say, okay, they should be a threat. Of course, they have some fine players in their ranks, but I mean, you look at that squad, almost 8 or 10 of those players are flying their trade from Mamelodi Sundowns alone. So basically, that's like you taking an entire club coming to a World Cup tournament. And I mean, we're talking about the best of the best participating in this tournament. So you don't expect to come here and blow everyone away. It's not going to happen. And the interesting thing is, I was on commentary duties on that game in Lagos here, and my colleague in the studio with me at that time was saying that this South African side are so lost as it is meant to their big for their opening game of the season. And if it was against a bigger nation and they put up that shambolic performance, maybe they would have spelled South Africa for them on the field yesterday. Because I was looking at that game and I was saying to myself, why is Mexico not 5-0 up? In fact, yesterday I wasn't really impressed with Mexico. To be honest, I was disappointed. Because I looked at South Africa, first of all, coming into the game with a back five, and then the structure, I saw them trying to sit deep, playing with long balls. They lacked ideas. They were trying to be physical and all of that. I don't look at it and said, oh, come on, Mexico, you guys are really, really disappointing. Then you just go all out and get the job done. But at the same time, I want to look at it and say, well, kudos to South Africa for not being blown away. Because no matter how you want to look at it, they tried their possible best. Despite receiving two
red cards, yeah.
Like, you look at the scoreline, and it doesn't tell the full story. So yeah, let's give a little bit of credit to South Africa for not going to embarrass. But then at the same time, the loss is a loss, whether you like it or not. So for South Africa, I have nothing against them. But at the same time, you should not expect me to
Of course, I understand. But Ahmed, let me ask, how important was the atmosphere at the Asaka Stadium, and that stadium influences the outcome of the match? Do you think that stadium actually influenced some setting? And you said it yesterday.
One of the things to understand, I told you that the Mexico arena and the Mexican stadium, I think it hosts at about 40 or 60,000 capacity crowd, and we have over 9 million Mexicans
in that
city.
Yeah,
and you can imagine the crowd that came. It's an opening match that had a lot of ambience, like I just said in my opening remarks.
Yeah,
had entertainment and had every form of. Everybody wants to come there either for a tourist
point of view,
either to come and see what the world is presenting. Mexico is holding. It's just like an Olympic game for football that is being hosted by the Mexicans. So the atmosphere was really, really necessary. Everybody coming there, I can tell you, over 80% of the fans in that arena are all Mexicans, and they'll be putting on Mexico t-shirts and everything, and they're going to be rooting out for their team.
Yeah.
And so that is the plus. Let's say that gives about 20% advantage to the Mexicans. Then the rest 20 maybe tactics, and then the next whatever, the 20% against the South Africans, who had actually had a bad reputation before coming for that event. So that one. But I want to disagree a bit with him saying that the match they played below par. No, you have to be very careful. It's not everything you release. It's as the game comes that you play. So if you want to say because they are good and then they become very tactically stupid, they can put all their tactics and then everybody begin to. That's my own. Sorry if I stand on this argument. And secondly, if you saw what the South Africans were putting, they were very rough. So you don't just want to play a very smooth football. They will not destroy your leg, because look at the way they were playing. They were hacking the Mexicans. They were not even, the football was not even smooth. I want to agree with him that also at the same time, on the flip side, you cannot come and experiment in the World Cup, like he just said, bringing only 8 players from Mamelodi Sundowns in the South African players.
But that's what they have.
No, it's not what they have. They have a lot, but eventually they have a problem. Let me tell you, South Africa cannot tell me that they don't have players abroad. They might be having some kind of problem. Some people have back down. I don't know, but this is my feeling. For following football, I think for South Africa cannot tell me that they don't have a lot of people in diaspora playing in Division 2 clubs, Belgium or whatever, who can play better than the Mamelodi Sundowns. And let me tell you, they are playing also, maybe there's politics that's going on in South African football, because their football is seemingly having some crisis a bit of selection.
Well, Patrick Monsefe, I think he's the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns or so, but I think he has handed over that to his son or something.
Even you cannot tell me that in Orlando Pirates there are no football, there are no players that are good.
I mean, Orlando Pirates.
Yes, Orlando Pirates. There are players that are very good, and there are other people in this other club in South Africa that you cannot tell me they don't have. But if you look at the squad, to me it's a total bias to bring all of these players
for just one particular jump number of slots.
If you say you want to so they can understand themselves, or did they win the South African League? I don't understand, because they're not the champions of the South African League. So why that? Actually, there's a political game going on in South Africa, and I believe there was crisis in that squad. That's why they went this way.
The principal, okay, go ahead. The president wanted to say something.
Yeah, for that game yesterday again, I would blame Hugo Bruce for the loss. Actually, to be fair, I'm going to blame the manager for losing that game. You look at that.
Not even himself.
As much as they don't really have the quality, right? You look at Mexico, the way Mexico was set up yesterday. South Africa came into that game hoping to use long balls to beat Mexico. It wasn't working. I felt this man would have made a tactical switch. And I mean, look at when he brought in Apolis on the bench. Apolis tried his possible best to make a difference. He brought in Zwane. I mean, that I wouldn't say that was a needless substitution, because he's an attacker who wants to make a difference. So he started to come and pick up red cards. But aside from that, he made the substitution late. I felt like, even when they were 1-0 down in the first half, okay, even he was trying to play safe and say, okay, let's not come to the second before halftime. At the start of the second half, he should have switched things off. He had players on the bench that he could bring in to change the game. But he did not do that, and I'm going to blame him for it. That game against Mexico, in as much as Mexico was favourite, South Africa had a chance to actually get one from that game. They had a chance, because I saw the way Mexico was playing. Mexico did not need gear one. They literally played on gear one from start to finish.
But the principal is, sorry I have to interject here. Which of the Mexican players that impressed you the most? And again, I wanted to talk on the second red card. That is that not just uncalled for? Knowing fully well that there's VAR all over, you just go and hit a player like that. I don't get.
I think the 3 red cards we saw yesterday, all of them were unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. The 3 red cards were unnecessary. I don't know if it was the emotions that got to the players, or if it was just a rush of adrenaline to the brain, or I don't know. But the 3 red cards, even the one that Montaigne got for Mexico, that one was, in fact, was a very needless one. Zwane's red card, that one was shocking.
Shocking.
Your hand to hit it. In fact, what some people were saying was that, I mean, you don't want to bring this xenophobic thing to the field, and I was like, let's not go down. But then, to be honest, I was really disappointed yesterday. 3 red cards, 3 yellow cards, and I'm like, oh, come on. Well, some people were trying to, after Chelsea on it. I mean, it looks like we already have the Chelsea of this World Cup.
in South Africa.
Okay, Amadou, let me ask, is this defeat a major setback for South Africa for reaching the knockout stage, or can they still recover from this?
Well, one thing the 2+2 in football is not 4 always. 2+2 in football can be anything. You can either add it up, or you can either subtract. This can just make them to go back and realign themselves and restructure their pattern.
It could be a push.
It could be a push, or also it could be a demoralizing factor. They're already demoralized from the physical. I mean, from their physical expression after the game yesterday. They look downcasted. They look as if everybody's against them. Apart from even including the referee. If you see the way they were reacting, there was a call the referee made, and I was told that when the referee was explaining what was wrong to one of the players couldn't understand until the VAR showed what happened, because there was also a language barrier between the South Africans. Well, it's not going to. To me, I will not say that that's the finality of the game. This is not the beginning of the show in world football. So let's just see. The Africans know how to punish some other people for their mistake in the first opening game. Yeah. Let's see whether South Africa can go and punish the likes of one of the teams in their group,
Korea and then the Czech.
But unfortunately, look at what happened.
Yes, Korea and Czech. I think that was another conversation.
I told you yesterday that I didn't actually give it to the South Koreans.
Yes.
But see, actually, the kind of thing they pulled up yesterday against Czech. Czech is even one of the most rated teams in the World Cup over the South Korea.
Yes.
But you see what they pulled up yesterday? The first ever opening game match for South Korea. So it's an exciting booster for them. Now, them and Mexico, look as if they are riding.
They are cruising
and comfortably going gradually. Let's see, because now two teams now, Czech and South Africa, might be the whooping team in that group. But however, anything can happen in the game of football. After the second game, then we can begin to tell you who actually might just drop.
The principal thing, based on what we saw in the opening game, how far can Mexico realistically go in this World Cup? Your own opinion.
Well, for Mexico, I mean, they are the host nation, so I'm expecting them to continue with the same level of energy they started the tournament with. But how far can they go? I mean, these guys, they've appeared in the World Cup 18 times, and I think the highest in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Sure, the priority would be to get to that quarterfinal again and maybe try to break the off of the quarterfinal. So I think that would be a priority for them. But the real question now is, do they have the quality to push on? Because when you look at that group, yesterday, we were saying that, okay, looks like they might be either themselves or Korea might be the ones to top the group. But yesterday, after seeing the way Korea played, I'm saying to myself, that Mexico might not even top that group if Korea continues this way. Because when you look at the performance, of course, the Korean side looks more convincing in their display, in their verve, in their determination. So for Mexico, I'm looking at them and I'm saying, okay, maybe so far so good. Look at that group; they have a chance to walk out of that group easily. But then, when they walk out of the group, what next? What if they come against one of the powerhouses? What are they going to do? Can they hold their ground? So I think that's a question that they need to ask themselves. And like I said yesterday, when it comes to cup tournament, of course, it is not always the best team that wins it. And it's the team with the most determination, the team with momentum, the team that manages to get those crucial moments. So for Mexico, maybe that's what will work for them. But how far do I see them going? Let me just be modest and maybe give them the quarterfinal bowing out. Since the quarterfinal is like their match. But genuinely, do I even see them getting to the quarterfinal? I don't think so. But I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt as the host nation and give them another, quarterfinal place. Except they have other clubs for me. But if they can shock me and go beyond that, then of course I'm going to jump on their bus. But if they can't do that, I would have said they will go home, but they're already home, so there's nowhere for them to go.
Okay,
I also want to tell you that let's not all at the same time. I haven't sat down a while now meditating on the games that are going on so far. I don't want to look at, no matter how bad South Africa is, I might not support their football, I might not support their preparation. They might just surprise a draw with one of these teams in their group. We know how to beat the Asian teams when it comes to football in Africa. Asians don't really, they hardly.
I don't think South Africa would really cause any form of.
I don't want you to look at it that way, because we always undermine our local product. Senegal. No. Senegal had this similar issue. I think some years back. I'm saying this with all authority. Senegal had this kind of problem years back when they went, I think, either to Nations Cup or where, and then they didn't do well. But they were surprised back at their appearance, because the local boys had this confidence in themselves that they could.
But I mean, with the performance of South Africa yesterday, the abysmal performance. Because if you see them, they look like
everybody in football has.
To be honest, they look like they are not even prepared for this game.
Everybody has his own day. That is, football will not be a good game for them. I say this with confidence. Do not undermine local products also. as much as I want to say that it's not a good way of exposure. Local products cannot be undermined. Out of local players, you can produce some stars that can just surprise you. The South Africans might not look the way they are, but I can tell you, something might just happen in the course of this game that they might just surprise one team in their group, either a draw or a win. Right. I can tell you alternative here.
All right.
And let's see.
Actually, yesterday it shows clearly that.
Let me say something about that, because you see, what we're talking about, I mean, you're referring to undermining our local products.
Yeah.
We are not on the.
We are. Authoritative, sorry, with all due respect, I see some analysts undermine we analyze based on performance, because people play in Europe and play in other good top clubs abroad. I'm also too because of the kind of popularity of the country, because where they come, and we look at our African teams as if they are underproductive. It is not. It does not mean that because you have those facilities. And, it is that's the problem. But is the coach of the South Africans a grade 1 coach? He's a grade 1 coach. Yeah, he's a grade 1 coach. So if you can put those bunch of local teams together to qualify for a World Cup event in Africa under a very tough group, it's not a small team.
I can see that the team is getting heated up already. Well, I think it's time for us to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll go over to the Czech Republic and South Korea game that was played yesterday that ended 2-1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Countdown is over. The world is ready. From June 11th to July 19th, football takes center stage as the biggest FIFA World Cup in history unfold across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. 48 nations, 104 matches, countless moments of drama, passion, and glory. Join Abel Sunday and the P&B TV Sports team as we bring you exclusive preview, expert analysis, match review. TV is your home for the road to World Cup glory. Don't miss a moment of the action. Tune in daily from June 11, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. through July 19th with comprehensive World Cup coverage. FIFA World Cup 2026 on P&B TV. One word, one game, one champion. P&B TV bringing the beautiful game closer to you. For sponsorship, contact Abel Sunday on 081 499 15988.
Welcome back. It's still P&B World Cup show reaching live from the nation's capital. Of course, it has been back-to-back hits here in the studio with the principal team and also Ahmed here in the studio. And we'll be talking about South Africa and Mexico. The game ended 2-0 yesterday, and definitely we'll see how we'll go. The second game will go, but let's switch the coin to South Korea and Czech Republic that ended 2-1 yesterday. The principal team, let me start with you before I come down to the studio and talk to Ahmedu. Yesterday, we saw South Korea went down, then they came back again. I'm talking about Czech Republic, we got one, and South Korea came back. I think what tactical halftime adjustment unlocked South Korea's second half attacking press, because we saw how that goal came in, and of course there was a goal that was at the 77th minute for Czech Republic that was also counting. But for your assessment, what tactical approach that the coach used there?
When you look at South Korean side, forget one thing I said yesterday, that these guys are disciplined, tactically disciplined. That is why the way they play is something that is very interesting and intriguing to watch. Now, first of all, let's look at the quality of players they have. Of course, we know they have Son Heung-min, and there's also Lee Kan-hin. There's Wang Jingbo who scored the goal in that game. And there's Patrick. First of all, was the tactical approach of the Korean side. First of all, of course, we know these guys they know how to keep the ball, and they did that very well yesterday. They kept the ball on the floor and they played football yesterday. You saw them moving the ball swiftly from left to right. And for the Egyptians, despite scoring first, they just couldn't hold their own. First of course, possession-wise, the Koreans dominated everything. That's why after looking at the game, I said to myself, okay, Mexico give away. But I wouldn't really want to blame them so much because I'll just say it was the quality and the determination of the Koreans that just overshadowed their performance. Because people say you made an effort. That was the difference between the loss that Czechia had yesterday and that of South Africa. South Africa played from the first whistle. South Africa was playing like a side that had no idea what they wanted to do. But it was a different team. In fact, we still took the lead first. So it shows the difference. And I was trying to make a point previously. To what Amit said earlier, that we should not underrate or downplay our African product. And I was trying to say that is not the case. When you see quality, you know. No matter where it is from, either it is from Africa, from Europe, when you see quality, you know. What South Africa showed yesterday was not quality. There's a reason why we feel more confident that Senegal and Morocco will go far. If they don't show quality, we will not be confident enough in them going far. That's the difference. So if South Africa, because the way South Africa played yesterday, they can't even face that Czech Republic side. Despite Czech Republic losing, South Africa with that kind of performance, they can't even face Czech Republic.
Well, okay. Amadou, I don't know. You share some sentiments.
There's some sentiments I share with your postulations and analysis. I share them very deeply in agreement. But there are some I might just in a way look at it and say, okay, nobody comes to the World Cup with a trials. Everybody feels a team. No matter how it is, they hope that this team that they are carrying will give them honor. Yes, we are talking about quality players. Everybody is a quality player. It's just that the game might not work for you. What if they had beaten Mexico yesterday? We won't be saying all this. We won't be talking here like that. Because I know that what you are looking at tactical discipline, tactical fluidity. You are looking at how they position yourself. That game yesterday was not even easy for the Mexicans. Go and watch the tape again. You will see it wasn't easy for them. They got their they took advantage of in football, whoever scores takes advantage of his opportunities. They had the opportunities and they took it. Do you know that the South Africans had a lot of opportunities that they threw away? They threw away some. This is why I'm saying I'm not disputing your observation. Okay. Do you understand? I'm not disputing your observation to say that they are not they don't look as if they are ready. I'm not disputing that. For me also, I feel that sentiment. But sometimes I don't want to come to the public and make such assertions because I cannot predict tomorrow. So anything can change. But to be honest, I think tactically South Africa's fall short there. I
can share some sentiment with wisdom. You know why I said so? Because we have deficiency.
I want to ask you, with the kind of pressure South Africa came to a Mundial, with the kind of attack, with the kind of media attack, with the kind of even home pitch molestation that they are having. They are under. You know what it means to batter somebody emotionally. When your emotion is not stabilized. I think we are going back to psychology. I'm just talking to you because we are talking about the group. Yeah, psychology. I will appreciate for psychologically. That team is already, they came into that place, into a psychological demoralization. And I'm just saying this out of my understanding, my sports psychology that I know. That when a team is battered psychologically, and they come there with a form of no hope, this is what happened to them. But later, if the coach can pep them up, and I'm saying this on this show.
Everything should have a psychology.
Yes, I'm saying this on this show. That by the venture, the next game will not be like this. Now we're talking about the South Korean team. He said a very fantastic thing about the analysis of the South.
The principal team, let me come to you with this question. Did the I'm talking about the Czech Republic defensive. Is it that after scoring that cracker, that goal, they now went back to play? They went back to play like playing low blocks, and that was the reason why the South Korea could have that chance to equalize that goal and even win the game.
I mean, the thing about tactics and the thing about decisions like that is, when you do it, if it works out, everybody would say that was a brilliant move. If it does not work, so maybe it wasn't a smart decision, but like I said, if it had worked out, would have.
I'm still on this a bit of this South African issue.
You want to go back?
No, I'm not taking you back. I just want to see some emotional statement after the game at the press guy of a South African by the captain. He said, our defeat today wasn't just because we didn't give our best. You hear me? He said he's not going to give our best. He said because they didn't get the kind of support. He said, I believe the lack of support will result.
The principal thing, let me also ask you this. The goal disallowed, 77 minutes goal disallowed, mentally break the Czech Republic. Did that goal actually break the Czech Republic mentally, that goal that was disallowed at the 77th minute?
First place, you still have a chance of qualifying, but this time.
You say something. What I'm trying to say in essence is that it's demoralizing for VAR sometimes to cancel some very important goals that will give somebody an advantage. I'm hearing you. I don't know whether you agree with me that it was a VAR call that disallowed the goal. I believe it was the opinion of the.
I lost you for a bit.
Okay, I'm saying that if not for the VAR decisions and analysis by the referee that disallowed that goal, I think the referee was giving that goal. And so sometimes referees should be able to stand and make decisions on behalf of what is happening on the field of play. Because sometimes
So for me, this issue about a referee making a decision on the field and the VAR overturns it, I've watched and I've observed that I think it depends on the referee and it depends on how strict the referee is.
Okay.
A referee like that said yes for Masinak.
Yeah.
I don't think the VAR will overturn it.
So it's decisions.
Daniel Sevier, of course, he was the one that officiated the Champions League final. I mean, referees like Daniel Sevier.
But he made some blunders, even at the Champions League. But I want to tell you
decision. So I think it depends on the strictness of the ref.
The charisma. Are you talking about the charisma?
I want to principal thing. I also want to tell you that guy that officiated the Champions League was a blunder against Arsenal. The
Champions League final.
Yes, he didn't give two clear penalties.
But Ahmed, you know that game.
You mean Daniel Sevier?
Yes, two clear penalties didn't give, and even the VAR didn't say anything or whatever to analyze that incident.
There's a reason Daniel Sevier is regarded as one of the referees that takes charge of his game, and whatever happens after the game, maybe the VAR would try to reconsider that. But the only problem with that is, can the referee take responsibility if it backlashes? If they can't take responsibility, then they leave it for the VAR. If they can take responsibility, then they stand their ground. It's a simple thing.
Okay, as we're trying to wrap up now, we have I think like 10 minutes or 5 or so. Is the team's reliance shifting from some to younger stars? I'm talking about the South Korea now, the principal thing.
I didn't get your question.
I'm asking if the reliance of the team on Son, is it shifting from him now to the younger guys? Because of course Son is not getting younger anymore. Are we seeing
do much and play good football, but they can wrap up.
For starters, I think Czech Republic will make it. South Africa is the thing that is going home, and this is not sentiment.
Okay, I'll leave you. I don't leave you.
I don't tell you this.
Okay, I don't leave you. But the only one will surprise you.
Mexico will be on.
Okay.
Republic will be done. South Africa will go home.
I'm the first fan.
Let them go home and not take their job.
I'm the first fan.
Let us go home and go and take that job. Okay, quickly. Tomorrow we are having USA Paraguay. What's your prediction on that game tomorrow?
To South Africa.
Yes.
That one should be an easy victory for the United
States. Thank you.
Because have some issues, and especially with their players.
Yeah.
Mentally and maybe physically, Paraguay are not really in the best frame of mind. So I think they will play. But quality-wise, of course, the United States, of course, have better players than Paraguay. So,
and they will have a better league.
Your prediction?
Well, I don't want to predict. I see a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Wisdom, the principal team, 1-1 draw as well, or 2-0 or 1-0. What is the scoreline?
2-0 victory for the United States.
All right, on that note, and that's where we will draw the curtain on today's edition of the P&B